Hello, it's time for Weekly Weird News, but before we even get into the script, here's the weirdest news of all. This isn't Ricky.
I'm not Ricky.
This is Phil. Ricky's not here because, like on any normal Thursday, he drove his car into work, but about an hour into the workday, his car caught on fire.
Yeah, it was a pretty serious thing. Everybody was like, move your cars. And I was like, who cares? And I went outside and it looked like the apocalypse.
Yeah.
And Ricky's car legit caught on fire because a house burned down next to our parking lot.
Yeah, he was parked right next to a house. That house caught on fire. It caught the next house on fire. They shut down the entire street. And Ricky's car just happened to be in the middle of all of that. I looked into it. I peeked into the shed where the fire appears to have originated. It was filled with tranny porn. And I'm not saying that to to make fun. Like it was actually
There's a garage that is all burned out, and there's like there's porno mags in the back. It's that thing that you always joke about, like delete my history when I die. This poor fucking guy's house burned down, and everybody's walking by snapping pictures, and there's these pink porno mags.
Too hot for TV.
We're not. I swear to God, not making that up. And then I'm dressed like a douchebag because when I went out to move my car, I smelled like chemicals so much it was making me sick. So I put on wardrobe from a sketch we did where I played a Christian rapper. So go on my Twitter if you want to see that. It's really tasteless.
So yeah, that's a great start to our weekly weird news show. But now on to your regularly scheduled weekly weird news. The animal kingdom is filled with beautiful, majestic, remarkable creatures, each playing their part in an infinitely complex ecosystem. These animal species have all evolved over millions of years through natural selection, taking on the traits most likely to aid in their survival. For lions, that means big old teeth and claws. For antelope, that means fast legs to get the hell away from the lions. It's all pretty basic, obvious stuff, but then there's other animals whose unique set of circumstances have caused them to evolve into something really, really, really bizarre.
Like the naked mole rat. It's a tiny rodent native to Eastern Africa, though it's neither mole nor rat. Unlike most land mammals, it has almost no fur, appearing to be made entirely out of dried scrotal skin.
I'd say that's accurate.
I'd say that's accurate. It only has 4 teeth, but those teeth are fucking huge relative to the rest of its body. It has eyes, but they're almost entirely useless and are mostly just a vestigial holdover from an earlier species who actually had a use for them. That's because the naked mole rat spends almost its entire life underground in complete darkness, using the few hairs in its body to sense its surroundings, like weird, creepy Spider-Man.
Yeah, so pretty strange. But wait, there's more. Naked mole rats are one of only 2 species of mammals that exhibit eusociality, meaning their social structure is more similar to ants and bees than most other mammals. They live in colonies with one queen who does all the breeding, along with 1 to 3 lucky males that she chooses to impregnate her.
Nice, swingers.
The rest of the roughly 75 members of a naked mole rat colony fill specific roles like scavenging, digging, taking care of the young, and protecting the colony from predators like snakes. Female workers, who are not the queen, don't sexually mature, but if something happens to the queen and she dies, just one of those female workers will all of a sudden start going through naked mole rat puberty and assume the throne. It's fucking crazy.
We've all seen Black Swan. We know how cutthroat that is. I wonder if there's other workers who are like, I hope the fucking queen dies. I'm gonna fuck all these guys.
Yeah, it has to go on. I mean, it's just not fair.
Who's gonna fuck that lady with the scrotum body?
Yeah, only one of us gets to have sex, and she gets like 3 mates.
Ooh, lucky.
The rest of us have to just sit here and take care of the kids?
Lucky gal. Well, the one other mammal with this kind of social structure, by the way, is a different kind of mole rat. I never thought I would say
there's multiple types.
There's different kinds of mole rats. The Damaraland mole rat, I hope I said that right. The Damaraland mole rat, who's way more prude about flaunting its naked body, probably because it's Catholic. But we're not here to talk about this Catholic mole rat. Some more fun facts about the naked mole rat include the fact that, unlike most mammals, they're cold-blooded and have basically no ability to regulate their body temperature, and instead just huddle together when they get cold or go down into a deeper, colder tunnel when they get too warm. Oh, and here's a fun one. Naked mole rats don't have a neurotransmitter common to pretty much every mammal called substance P, so they are incapable of feeling pain.
Yeah, you can rough them up. They don't care.
Where's the money, Lebowski? And they don't care. You're never gonna get your money.
But shit just gets weirder and weirder the more scientists study these goddamn things. But weird in a good way, actually, because there's a lot of pretty darn useful insight to be gained from studying how these things survive. Now, the lifespan of your average mouse is about 2 years. But the similarly sized relative of mouse, the naked mole rat, can live up to 32 years.
That's fucking crazy.
Yeah. A big reason for this is that's longer than the average rock star lives. A big reason for that is they pretty much never get cancer. In fact, the only naked mole rats that have ever been observed developing cancer were born in zoos, which are filthy.
Ugh.
Mice get cancer super easily, and scientists have a bunch of surefire ways to kickstart mouse cancer so they can then test various cancer treatments on them. They're like basically cancer machines, but not the naked mole rat.
The bummer is if they just came to the surface more, they could get cigarettes to smoke.
Yeah.
And just have consequence-free smoking.
Yeah.
Those are the only ones who I can
It's
be
true.
like,
Yeah.
smoke up.
It's hard to find smokes down in there in those mole rat colonies.
You know what I mean? There's no light.
Yeah.
But when researchers subject captive naked mole rats to the same surefire carcinogens that mice get cancer from, nothing happens. Shooting them with gamma rays, injecting them with cancer-causing genes, and rubbing chemicals specifically designed to cause cancer onto their bodies does jack shit. And because mice are used as control group in these experiments, these resilient naked mole rats are responsible for a lot of dead mice.
Well, the mole rat lives. How are the mice doing?
Hey, Dad, I'm going to not the mole rat experience. So, the exact reasons for why these things never get cancer is way too complicated for me to explain in depth. But most animals have some adaptations to resist tumors, and naked mole rats seem to have all those adaptations at once. They're OP, basically.
Yeah. And aside from cancer resistance, they exhibit a bunch of other weird biological anomalies that help them live really long. Their bodies don't even start breaking down from age until they're in their 20s, and some reasons for this seem to be its relatively strong ability to repair its own DNA compared to other rodents, and the fact that they can substantially slow down their metabolism when times get tough. Not enough food to go around? We'll just hit the pause button. Wait for another season. Anyway, with all these naked mole rat discoveries happening, researchers thought this data was so important and relevant to human longevity that the Naked Mole Rat Genome Resource was created, offering anyone access to the naked mole rat's entire DNA sequence.
That is okay. Naked mole rat sounds like a band. Naked mole rat sounds like a band, but the naked jibba dibba dibba sounds like a band that I would not listen to.
Naked Mole Rat Genome Sequence. We
Resource.
play art rock.
Yeah, we're opening up for a Devo cover band. Don't worry about it. So, just last week, researchers at the Max Delbruck Center for Molecular Medicine in Berlin and the University of Illinois Chicago unveiled a brand new example of how goddamn unstoppable the naked mole rat is. Turns out they barely need any oxygen to survive and can go a really long time without it and just be fine. This was already known through basic common sense since dozens of oxygen-breathing mammals live their entire lives underground in cramped tunnels and obviously aren't going to be breathing the most oxygen-rich air that we get up here. But scientists recently decided to put naked mole rats to the test, and in the process killed a lot more control group mice.
Yeah.
Just laying them.
It's like, I mean, they gotta know, like, the mice in their cages are like, you in the mole rat group? Sorry, bro.
I wonder if people who get off like crushers or people who like step on animals or whatever, like those weirdos, if they're really into this stuff. If they work there, like, ooh, the mole rat study.
Yeah.
That went deep. I lost you. I probably lost you guys too. I lost everybody.
Anyway, in this study, they first subjected naked mole rats to air that was only 5% oxygen. For comparison, the air we breathe is around 20% oxygen, and 5% oxygen will kill a mouse in under 15 minutes. The naked mole rats lasted 5 hours, and they remained alert and social before the researchers decided these mole rats aren't suffocating anytime soon. Let's move on to a tougher test. Then they tried 0% oxygen. This usually kills a mouse in about 45 seconds, but not the naked mole rat, obviously. They did get knocked unconscious after about 30 seconds, but their hearts just kept on beating. And then when they were reintroduced to oxygen 18 minutes later, they just woke up and resumed their lives like nothing happened.
Hey, Harry,
That was
blacked
weird.
out a little while ago. Were you drinking? No, I just wasn't breathing oxygen. I don't understand how the hell this dick skin rat does it. Well, like most mammals, the naked mole rat runs on glucose, a sugar that the digestive system gets from food and then turns it into energy to keep the body warm and the blood a-pumping. That process requires oxygen though, which is why animals die after enough time without oxygen. The naked mole rat though basically has a hybrid engine that also runs on fructose when the whole glucose thing ain't working out. Converting fructose into energy doesn't require oxygen, so naked mole rats store a bunch of fructose in their bodies to basically act as a backup generator in case of emergency. And they're so fucking ugly,
Yeah.
but they're so incredibly well engineered.
Meanwhile, I drink fructose and I get diabetes. It's not fair. Diabetes.
Sorry,
the beatus.
Correct.
So yeah, as Thomas Park, one of the project researchers, says, quote, they have a social structure like insects. They're cold-blooded like reptiles, and now we found that they use fructose like a plant. Naked mole rats might be ugly as sin, but they are truly one of nature's greatest marvels. And this whole fructose as a backup fuel phenomenon is, again, something that could actually have a really useful impact on medicine for us humans. Humans, we also store fructose in our kidneys and livers, so figuring out a way to maybe get our bodies to temporarily run on it would be a potential lifesaver in situations where patients are deprived of oxygen, like heart attacks and strokes. Pretty common. So say what you want about the naked mole rat, but this is the ideal mammal body. You may not like it, but this is what peak performance looks like.
I know, you're getting a lot of tweets. We're like, whoa, peak performance. No, it's a hideous fucking rodent. Anyway, now it's time for some updates on multiple weekly weird news stories, starting with United Airlines, the airline of choice for people who get off on being treated like subhuman garbage.
Yeah.
After that whole incident where they demanded a paying customer get off the flight because they suck at planning, and then had the police beat the living shit out of that guy when he refused to because he's a doctor and had patients to see, they decided the best response would be to just double down and lash out at their haters. They finally did apologize, though, and this week the lawyers for Dr. David Dow announced that, they reached a settlement with United. How weird.
Yeah, I thought when you didn't do anything wrong, you don't reach settlements.
No.
Anyway, the terms of these kinds of settlements are always, or almost always, kept a secret. But you can rest easy now knowing that Dr. Dow probably got a whole lot of money out of this situation. But you know what? United's troubles are far from over because now that the spotlight has been shined on their business practices and track record, we're seeing how far their shittiness extends as a company. This week it came out that a massive rabbit named Simon, the son of the world's largest rabbit, died while traveling with United despite being in perfect health for a 10-month-old giant rabbit. Simon was on his way to being as horrifyingly large as his father, Darius, and his career as a freakishly large animal was cut short, likely because of United, who hates his passengers regardless of which species they are.
You know what would have saved Simon? If he was a naked mole rat. He could be up there with no fucking oxygen.
That's right. Mole rats don't die on planes.
Or fly
They don't die.
JetBlue, maybe, I don't know. But since Simon's tragic death, the giant rabbit, it's come out that, surprise, more animals died being transported by United last year than any other U.S. carrier, you fucking murderers. Which is terrible, but much like with the Dr. Dow situation, it's important to put things in perspective. In 2016, 26 animals died while traveling on U.S. flights, which is sad, but that's out of roughly 520,000 animals who flew, or half of 1%. So it's kind of... 9 of those animals flew United, which I've never said that sentence either. Oh yeah, 9 of those animals flew United. The most of any airline, but animals actually had worse overall chances flying Hawaiian Airlines, who had fewer deaths but a higher overall incident rate. And in case you're curious, this kind of shocked me, Alaska Airlines had the lowest animal fatality rate.
Yeah.
Everyone's just like, yeah, it's cold up here, man.
Alaska Airlines, the choice of dogs and cats everywhere. And rabbits.
And rabbits.
And giant rabbits. This rabbit, his dad was fucking huge. Like, the rabbit's bigger than both my dogs. My dogs are not tiny dogs.
This is the equivalent, you know those freakishly large pumpkins that weigh like 800 pounds?
Yeah.
This is, if it were a rabbit, this is what it is. And they're just these big puff balls.
Freaks me out. But anyway, United is not the only airline in hot water right now. Earlier this week, if you watched our live show, you'll know about that whole thing with American Airlines, where a woman tried bringing a stroller onto a plane, and then a pissed-off flight attendant angrily snatched it from her before boarding and hit her in the head, and then got into an angry shouting match with another passenger who confronted him. Americans seem to have learned from all the bad press United got because they quickly apologized for everything, they suspended the flight attendant, and they went out of their way to compensate and accommodate the woman.
Because this was caught on tape. Again, all of these things, how much terrible shit happens in the world that's not caught on tape, but just pull your phone out. But maybe the reason that flight attendant was so easily pissed off was something completely unrelated. Maybe it was his uniform. Back in December, Americans flight attendants had their union ask for a full recall of their new uniforms because they were causing what seemed like allergic reactions for a number of flight attendants, which is, here, put this on, it'll destroy your skin.
Where are these toxic clothes?
American refused the recall, saying instead they could just wear your old uniforms if they felt like it. You know, like your brother's hand-me-downs that have pit stains. And now Americans, pilots are complaining of similar symptoms for their new uniforms, which are apparently causing the pilots to feel sick. Oh, just the fucking pilots.
Yeah.
The guy flying the fucking plane, or woman. Hey, it's the 90s.
There's a few of them.
So they're getting itchy skin and red puffy eyes, which again, you use those to see the plane.
Kind of important.
But you'd think having your airline's pilots distracted by clothes they're apparently allergic to would be a pretty huge concern. But I guess when you're an airline, you can only put out so many fires at once.
Yeah.
Oh, like
So,
It's too soon.
yeah.
Way too
Oh,
soon.
sorry, Ricky. Anyway, now for another update on that whole Alex Jones
we can
custody
talk about Alex
battle.
Jones?
Oh,
Yes!
yes. So, as of the time we're recording this, the jury is still deliberating on the whole custody battle between him and his ex-wife, but it's actually looking pretty likely that Alex Jones gets to keep custody of his little info warriors.
Crazy.
So one key reason for that is that the judge in the case refused to allow a lot of the widely available evidence brought forward by Jones's ex-wife because it was, InfoWars footage that was political in nature and it would probably sway jurors based on their political opinions. Another reason, though, is that Jones's ex sounds just about as crazy as Jones himself, if not more.
Yeah, being unable to use much of the InfoWars footage as evidence, her case rested mainly on allegations that Alex Jones was brainwashing the kids into hating their mom, but all the court-appointed psychologists assigned to the case dispute this. So Jones's ex's legal team is claiming Jones paid off all of those psychologists. So you just keep nesting conspiracy theories.
Yeah.
A vast conspiracy, Anyway, Alex Jones did still say some more ridiculous stuff during the trial, like Jones saying he isn't a bad influence on his kids because, quote, they're very proud of the comedy memes that I appear in. Online, I'm #1 meme.
Congrats.
Yes.
Congrats.
And Pepe's kids are really happy. And he's like, no, I'm the #1. It doesn't matter
All his
who
little
likes me.
tadpoles. But yeah, the meme quote is nothing in comparison to some autobiographical details that Alex Jones provided about himself over the weekend on his InfoWars show while in the midst of this trial. In a typically rambling video that was supposed to be about Sandy Hook vampires or something.
Wait, Sandy Hook vampires.
Yeah, the vampires of Sandy Hook. It was supposed to be about that, but it didn't actually end up being about that at all. Jones at one point said, quote, "When I was 16, I didn't want to party anymore. I didn't want to play games anymore. I grew up. I'd already been in the fights, all the big rituals. I'd already had probably, I hate to brag, but I'm not bragging. It's actually shameful. Probably 150 women or more. That's conservative. I'd already had over 150 women. I'd already been in fights with full-grown men. I was already dating college girls by the time I was 15 years old. I was already a man at 16.
My graduating class in high school was under 300 people.
He fucked them all.
So that would mean that for me to pull Alex Jones numbers, I would have had to fuck every single girl that I went to high school with.
Get on his level,
And
bro.
I did. So yeah, Alex Jones banged 150 women in the small town of Rockwall, Texas. By the time he was 16, I should have done Alex Jones as Shibby on Tugs, and that would have been.
I mean, you kind of did. It wasn't that far off.
I know, but I watched it. It was really painful. So anyway, yeah. So by the time he was 16, Alex Jones supposedly banged 150 women, and that, my friends, is the definition of super male vitality. And you too can achieve milestones of male greatness and virility like this by heading to InfoWarsStore.com and picking up a 2-ounce bottle of super male vitality for the low price of $69.95.
Nice.
$69. Well, right now it's out of stock because it's so good that everybody wants some. But you can join the waiting list and uncuck yourself as soon as it's available. Bang 150 women with super male vitality.
Not approved by the FDA.
Yeah. I stopped taking my iodine from the center of the earth and beta male brain. And
the supplements only really work if you buy all of them. I know it seems expensive to buy all these 2-ounce bottles for, virility and brain power and resistance to radiation in case of a nuclear attack and the water filter to get the fluoride out. It's expensive. But, greatness isn't cheap.
Yeah, they're like the Power Rangers or Voltron. If you're missing one, you can't have you can't turn into the Megazord if you're.
They're greater than some of their parts, like the Beatles.
Yeah, guys, quick update. You know how I said he was probably gonna win the case? He lost. His wife has custody now, and she can choose where his kids live. So that ends the saga of the Alex Jones custody battle. Now back to your regularly scheduled program.
Anyways, before we get into the headline section, let's go ahead and look at what's actually going on in American politics outside of the whole InfoWars stuff. What's really happening? And no, none of that DC stuff. It's a little too real. Let's take a look at real America.
Roll.
Montana Congressman Ryan Zinke was appointed as U.S. Secretary of the Interior, so his seat is up for grabs in an upcoming special election. One man running for his seat is Rob Quist, a good old boy, a country musician, and a local hero.
Woo!
But Rob Quist is also a Democrat.
Ew!
That don't really fly around these parts. And groups like the NRA are putting lots of money into stopping Rob Quist. So here first is a political ad attacking Rob Quist, and then right after that we'll play you Rob Quist's response. And this is just glorious all around.
We'll see
Here
you in
you
a
go.
second, partners.
We know Rob Quist is a good musician, but what else do we know about him? Well, he doesn't pay his taxes like you and me. State filed 3 liens against Quist for back taxes, and Quist doesn't support our gun rights. He said,
I fully support Second Amendment rights.
but he got caught pushing gun control. He even said we should be forced to register our guns. We just can't trust Rob Quist. Defend freedom, reject Rob Quist.
For generations, this old rifle has protected my family's ranch. In Congress, I'll protect your right to bear arms because it's my right too. I won't stand by while a millionaire from New Jersey tries to attack my Montana values. I'm Rob Quist, and I approve this message to defend your rights. But I'm sending this one to defend mine.
So yeah, I don't know. I can't really vote in Montana, but if I did, Rob Quist, you got my hypothetical vote.
That is lit. What he did, like, just coming out fire, and they're like, yo, we're gonna shit all over you. He's gonna take your guns. He's a fucking Democrat.
Yeah.
He's not paying the government their money. He put their ad on a TV on his ranch and just fucking shot it.
This is the same rifle I use to defend my ranch, and I'm using it to defend my reputation.
You know why he couldn't pay his taxes? Because he goes through TVs like water, because every time a commercial comes on he doesn't want to watch, he shoots it.
Yeah, it's hard. It's hard keeping up when you gotta shoot a TV every time you see an ad you don't like. But Rob Quist does it. Anyway, let's move on to the weirdest headlines of the week. These are all pretty self-explanatory, but starting off with hash browns recalled for possible contamination with golf balls.
No, don't read something from Cards Against Humanity yesterday. I need you to read. That's a lame, like, hash browns. That's some dumb Mad Lib shit right there,
But
right?
how does this happen? They don't explain how it happens, so we're just left to sort of speculate. Like, does the factory that makes the hash browns also make golf balls?
Yeah.
Whoops. After all
What's
this
that?
stuff.
Zoop, 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 like the Scooby-Doo noise happened.
Yeah, or is the potato farm built on an old golf course that has a bunch
I think
don't understand.
They hired a naked mole rat. He can't see. He thought the
Oh,
golf
yeah,
balls
yeah.
were potatoes. He brought them in. They made him like, these taste awful. I'm like, oh no, there's
Yeah,
golf balls.
kind of hard.
Exploding snowman forecasts hot summer for Switzerland.
This is like, you know how we have like Groundhog Day?
Yeah.
Pretty weird thing. It's like you pull out the groundhog, which is a relative of the naked mole rat with fur and it's larger. They pull it out in Punxsutawney, Pennsylvania, and if it sees its shadow, that means more winter or less winter. I don't know. But apparently we're not alone in that. Over in Switzerland, they have this festival with, they built like a scarecrow snowman with fireworks inside the head, and then they get on horses and they ride around it in a circle and they light a bonfire in the middle, and then they time how long it takes for the fire to reach the snowman's head and explode. And apparently it was real fast this year, so it means summer's coming fast.
Oh, okay. It sounds like.
Very scientific.
Are you sure this isn't Burning Man? Like, hey, we're taking mushrooms. We're gonna make a snowman. We're gonna blow them up.
I
It's
think
cool.
Burning Man copied these guys.
Yeah. Well, one or the other. It came from somewhere.
Loch Ness Monster missing after no sightings in 8 months.
It's been popping up on a lot. I've been drinking a lot of milk lately on the back. It's like,
Yeah.
have you seen this monster?
I haven't seen Santa Claus since Christmas. You're
Oh,
sure he's okay?
that's a long time. 3 ISIS militants killed by wild boars in Iraq.
I love this.
This is great.
I mean, we don't usually post stuff about people being brutally killed.
Why
But,
aren't we-
you know, ISIS kind
aren't-
of gets a pass.
Why aren't we dropping more boars over there?
I know. So, I don't know if you know a lot about boars, but they're fucking brutal animals. They will fucking kill you, no problem.
When you think of the kimono dragons on like the dinosaur side, like
Yeah.
these are like dinosaur pigs.
Yeah, they're built for murder. Their tusks are like razor sharp. Every time they open and close their mouth, they sharpen those tusks, so they're like basically blades. They run really fast. They go through bone like butter. And
Snatch, it's a good reference.
yeah, but yeah, these ISIS guys, they upset a group of roaming boars. The boars let them know what's what. And yeah,
boars.
so we need to send in a lot more freedom boars.
I think it's a shirt and there's an American flag waving and it's boars. It just says "Built for Murder."
Yeah,
That's a good tagline.
and there's the whole irony that ISIS is obviously militantly Muslim, and pigs are
forbidden.
not the opposite of halal. They're
I don't. No bueno.
Haram? Yeah,
yeah.
they're haram. They're very haram. So it's great that these guys had the lovely pleasure of being eaten alive by wild pigs.
Poor
The
terrorists.
filthiest of animals.
Alaska dentist pulled tooth while riding hoverboard, prosecutors say.
That sounds like the coolest dentist on earth.
I feel like that's a very like Homer Simpson, Peter Griffin, like, where were you? Like, my dentist pulled my tooth while on a hoverboard. Like, he just sees things and like puts them together to get out of jury duty.
This was part of a larger case. This guy was apparently defrauding the pharma companies by saying he was using a lot more like Novocaine than he actually was, and then charging the insurance payments on it. But then as part of the trial, they're looking into this guy's background and they found texts on his phone where he's just like texting like the other people in his office, like, check it out, this is how we're gonna do all of our, look at the hoverboard. Just gonna do all of it like this. The patient's asleep, like knocked out, doesn't know what's going on.
Video he took?
Yeah.
Because I feel like people get hoverboard hubris. And they just like, oh, look what I'm doing. I'm shooting up. And they do, I'm putting my contacts
Doing
in.
heroin on a hoverboard.
I'm sucking my own dick, on a hoverboard. Which, I mean.
It's all
we all
fun and
would if we
games on the
could.
hoverboard until literally anything goes wrong. And then you hit the ground like a sack of potatoes and like break your elbows. Tori, you ate shit on it. When we first got
fuck.
one in the office, like, I thought you were dead. You fell really hard.
Yikes.
Next headline, Michigan cops may soon be barred from having sex with prostitutes while undercover.
Michigan cops are like, the fuck, man? How am I supposed to get my dick wet?
Yeah, that's the best perk of the job, being the only state that allows cops to fuck prostitutes. It's Michigan. They need something to motivate them.
Pros, you get a pension, you get a gun, you get your dick wet.
Yeah.
And pretty soon it's going to be just these two.
So, yeah, looks like party's over, Michigan cops.
Wow,
You've
wow.
had it too easy for too long.
Man. World's last male northern white rhino gets help from Tinder.
Like, literally. So they teamed up with Tinder. Now, if you're on Tinder, you know how they put ads? Well, apparently they...
Allegedly.
Apparently they put ads between the swipes and they try to do it in a way where it's like, it looks like a person, but it's actually like an advertisement. This one, it was like, this rhino needs to get laid because he's the last one. Donate money to help him get laid.
How terrible would that be if you were the last of your species, or there was like one other one? You know how they always trying to get like pandas or like stuff to mate, and you're on your animal Tinder and you're swiping and it's just the same person.
Not a match.
And you're like, nope,
She's
no,
not into it.
No, you wake up, it's fucking Groundhog Day.
Her inbox is full. Sorry, bro.
It's Rhino Day. I didn't get them. Oh my God, it's full. Like, who's filling it up?
Oh, good luck, Rhino. Overly obese body starts funeral home fire. Because we're all just basically candles deep down.
Yeah, this is reminiscent of the story. I'm sure you guys covered it when the woman's fart exploded in the operating room.
Oh, I remember that, yeah.
Probably like 4 or 5 months ago. I imagine some gases build up in a fat person. And
I guess like body fat, yeah, it's flammable. Like,
yeah, it's like
and
calories.
The more
It's-
fat
it's-
you have, the
longer
bigger the boom.
The longer you'll burn.
Yeah. It's like
So-
in Fight Club when they were using like first they started using the fat to
Yeah.
make soap, but then they started using it in bombs.
Yeah.
It's all the
Think
same.
about that. Go back and watch Fight Club. Then watch Snatch.
Yeah.
All right, next up, a judge praises drug dealer. It's a good business model.
They're not wrong. I mean,
No, I mean,
It's-
get them. First one's free. Actually, the first one's not free. I don't know where that came from. Drug
Yeah.
dealers, the first one is not free. It's not like you can just go and shop around a week trial like
no.
it's a streaming
Well,
service.
with the medical marijuana clubs, a lot of them have a first time.
Allegedly, you can just go
Yeah.
around.
A lot of
and
them
they
have a
give you-
wheel that you spin. First time customer, you can get all
you go
sorts of
in.
things.
And allegedly, I found that when they have 19-year-olds who are high back there, they don't do a good job, allegedly.
Yeah, allegedly, it's kind of a poor way to run an alleged business if everyone's high all the time. It's allegedly not very efficient.
We should hang out allegedly after this show.
Yeah. And finally, Nordstrom's offering pre-dirtied jeans for $425 fucking dollars.
Look at these fucking things. They look like you fell in the mud. Like, it's the type of thing where if I showed up to work or somewhere and then
Go
like
home.
I would be embarrassed.
Yeah, you're
like I
fired.
would be embarrassed if I had that much. It looks like you were playing like tackle football in the mud or
Yeah.
you shit. It's just human shit all over this thing.
Like,
and they're shiny.
torn jeans and like acid wash. I can kind of understand the fashion
Yes.
sort of value in that, but these just look like you fell into a pile of manure and then we're just like, you know what?
Fuck it.
Fuck everyone else. I'm gonna keep like this is actually pretty good news. If this is a fashion trend, this is great for all of us. We have to do laundry a whole lot less.
Yeah, so you know who's got to go, who's walking
Yeah.
around. And the description says, it says something like, for those who aren't afraid to get down and dirty.
But you are afraid.
No,
to get
these
down.
are. This is
Yeah.
if you are afraid to get down and dirty because you bought jeans that have fake dirt on them. What the fuck, man? You know what? These are worse than the $4 Wi-Fi juicer. There.
Yeah.
The Wi-Fi juicer's off the hook. These jeans are the top of my list.
And this is worse than Nordstrom's previous great product, the Rock in a Pouch, for $80.
Oh yeah.
Remember that?
Yeah.
Sold out immediately. It was a great product. Anyway, guys, that's it for Weekly Weird News. Please check out Tech News Day, where we talked about robots for fucking, robots for fighting, juicers that are stupid and
Dumb.
expensive and pointless, data getting sold, all sorts of great,
All the
horrible
usual,
news.
the usual stuff to give you anxiety.
Technology was a mistake.
Yeah, and if it's all bad, and if you guys want to subscribe to my new channel, it's youtube.com/actionfigures. Yes, it's spelled exactly how you think it is.
It's a toy channel.
It's gonna be launching on Wednesday. It's not a toy channel. It's about comics and all that stuff. Yeah. Oh, look, I unboxed for you.
Oh.
But yeah, check it out. youtube.com/actionfigures, and yeah, we launch Wednesday. Boom.
Have a good one.
Bye.
Bye.
So allegedly, we're gonna take